Movie Time is brought to you by the Gateway Film Center, 1550 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio. For their details and showtimes online at gatewayfilmcenter.com.
The award-winning It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to the shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
I'm Linda Baas McClelland.
And this is
It's Movie Time.
All right, Linda. Oh, well, it was at 1 degree this morning when I got up. It's not a whole lot better right now.
No.
But
we're going to heat it up.
Wow, it is. Things are really hot in the theaters, particularly at the box office, for 50 Shades of Grey. And we don't need, for this sophisticated audience, to explain too much more about what this phenomenon is.
Right.
But Linda, all right, I see you. Thank you for bringing Vogue.
This is the thing I can't get over. This movie is such a sensation. And women all over the world of all different ages were just captivated by this book. And it's a phenomenon.
Now, would you call this film? Now, remember, we have the novel, and we know this rambling is actually 3 novels.
Right.
And this is based upon the first one. It's about S&M. Or BDSM, as they call it, sadomasochism, bondage, discipline. But Linda, is this a hot film?
No, it's not. And I think that's why people might be disappointed in it. Especially, women were so crazed to see this movie because there were such high expectations. One would think that the screen version of Christian Grey, played by the cool James Dorman, is
a bit too cool for me. He's an Irish model turned actor, and he should go back to modeling.
But you would think it's the biggest thing to come along in movie history, pun intended.
Yeah.
But anyway, for people who live on another planet, it's about a young virginal girl who falls in love with a billionaire who comes with a lot of baggage, straps, ropes, chains, whips, handcuffs, the whole thing.
Right. All very well appointed.
Yes, beautiful.
And helicopters and fleets of cars.
He's a very well accomplished young man. So.
And he's a good-looking guy if you can get over the fact he looks like Eric Bana. And he's got terrific suits. I love the suits.
Yeah.
But boy, he is one cold dude.
He is. He just doesn't have the sexual allure that Christian Grey does in the book.
Okay.
He's, like you say, he's very nice to look at, but I don't know. There's just something missing there for me.
Yeah, there's a certain intensity that he doesn't have, a heat regenerate. I really think there's not much between him and Dakota Johnson.
Right.
Who's really better than he, I believe.
Right. Yeah, that was my big disappointment. There wasn't any chemistry going on between them.
Some think there were.
And I wanted it.
Yeah,
I was rooting for it. Give me some more heat. Give me some steam. I want something to watch. I want something to get excited about. And it just wasn't there. And so I don't know whether a lot of people were disappointed in it or not. But at one point, at several points, the audience that we were watching the film with would start to giggle or laugh, seemingly unintentionally. They were laughing. But do you think this movie was meant to be funny?
I think that's a great question, and I have no answer for you. I did not find it funny. I think that there are parts that they meant to be satirical, and I could see that there were moments when you should laugh and you did laugh. Overall, I didn't think it was a satire of the longings of contemporary women to go back to another age when they are dominated by men. I just don't know, and I don't know why they were laughing, other than it was laughable to me that you could spend this much money on a film and make even that much more on something that was so pedestrian. I can't even call this soft porn.
No.
I call it flabby porn.
Flabby porn. If they want to see a steamy movie, I would go and see Mickey Rourke and Kim Basinger in 9.5 Weeks.
Good call.
Or Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone in
Is it Basic Instinct?
Basic Instinct. Whoa! Now, there was some steam going on.
Isn't it interesting?
But here, nope. And that's the sad part of it.
Yeah, there's some minor characters who could have been good, like Marcia Gay Harden as his mother. But they're given short shrift in this. They're in and they're out.
Yeah,
the
very
real focus
quickly
is just on these two.
Right.
The young woman is a literature major and therefore not, and she's graduating, and so she's not stupid. But she certainly has longings to be in love.
Yes.
And here's where I have, helped me out with this. What is she into this for? Why, as we watch it, at least as director Sam Taylor Johnson, who is well known for photography,
Right. Yes.
she certainly has beautiful set design.
Yes, it was. His apartment or condo or whatever you want to call it was breathtaking. It was gorgeous in Seattle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Linda's an interior designer, so listen to that, because if you want to go to see some beautiful set design, go see this. But I'm trying to understand what her motive is in this.
I think she was so inexperienced. You know, she's a virgin. I think we said that before, when she meets Christian, and she sees this glamorous man, and I think everybody wants to be loved by somebody they see as being very special.
All right.
And boy, he was. I mean, he just was all glamour.
Yeah.
And it just kind of took her breath away, and then it went from there. So I think that's why she was enticed into doing the things that he wanted to do to her, because it was all new. It was like, wow, this is something else.
But as viewers, as we are, it's something short of titillating, not even sexually arousing, I think.
No, it wasn't.
Like her set, like Taylor Johnson's set, it's almost sterile. And
Right.
you wouldn't think that. It's just the opposite of what you intuited this to be. It's not. It's all pretty formal. And I mean, part of it is generated by the very thoughts of the novel itself. He's not a romantic. He is into this for what he can get from her. He does not do romance, as he says.
Right.
He doesn't sleep with a woman.
Right.
There are many things. He does not allow her to touch him. There are many things that he will not allow. So you sit there and say to yourself, well, besides the fact that this actor is not very good, it's difficult to see an intelligent young woman, even as naive as you say she is, to fall for this.
Right. It's a dark fairy tale. It certainly is. And, you know, I think some of the women we spoke with after seeing the film, they did see it as a love story. They still wanted this to be a love story. And I think this movie, or maybe the series of movies, will be more of a love story, how the relationship develops between the two of them. Because Anna, she's a very appealing young woman. And on the positive side, Dakota Johnson, whose parents are Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson, her grandmother is Tippi Hedren of the Byrds. She is a pretty darn good actress.
You're
she
right.
does a very competent job.
Yeah, she's a good lineage, and she shows it.
Right. And the only bad thing is that she is tied up, there we go again, sorry, to doing 2 more of these films. But I brought this Vogue magazine, which people on the radio can't hear or can't see.
Right. But there's Dakota Johnson.
Right, there she is. And Dakota Johnson is being touted as the next best thing.
And want to know something? She's not extraordinarily beautiful.
I think she's very pretty.
I think that she is plainer than she is beautiful. But I like that. I think it's a terrific piece of casting, so that we can identify a bit more with her, rather than having just this raving beauty. Have this very good-looking young woman. Again, the directing bothers me somewhat. We both noted that in at least the first half of the film, she's panting most of the time, and it just doesn't work, even for a young, impressionable English major.
Right.
Be panting after this guy. I'd pant after his set and his helicopters and all that, but panting after him is tough.
Right.
And even when he is
working
working on her and she is in all kinds of rhapsody, it just doesn't work. It doesn't seem right. Yeah.
One of the things that does work for me in the movie is the music.
Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman composed a great score, and other artists like Beyonce contributed.
Yes.
And that made it seem a little steamier than it really was.
No, you're very right. Now, don't go there to listen to great lines.
No.
Let me give you one.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to F you into next week. Oh, Lord, and I'm 50 shades of effed. You know, okay.
All right.
And I suspect that the language in the novel, now you've read some of the novel.
I did. I read the first one, and because everybody was talking about it, and parts of it did make me blush. That's why I was disappointed.
But overall, and it's right.
But you know, so many movies that are adapted from books are failures because they don't capture the voice of the author. In this case, it's a blessing, but it was watered down too much, in my opinion, by the director Sam Taylor Johnson. But
Watered down meaning it wasn't steamy.
It wasn't sexy enough.
Okay.
And I think they can be credited for making the movie stronger than the book. It just isn't a sexy movie.
Well, now, Lenny, you and I were talking the other day, and I wanted to tell you there are a couple of romances coming out. So I want you to look forward to those because your favorite romance?
Which one? Casablanca.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, contemporary, more contemporary.
Love Actually.
Right.
I get like a kid when Love Actually. Oh yes.
So how does this compare with Love Actually?
Oh, you can't. They don't even belong in the same theater. No way, Jose. Not at all.
So what's the difference? This is what I always want to look at. You love Love Actually, and I liked it very much too.
It's
Hugh
just the
Grant
clever use of humor and the great stars that were in it. And there were different storylines. There were maybe 4 or 5 different storylines. It was just clever.
Sure. Now, see, I like that because I think you're on to something. In both the writing and in the directing, it's not witty.
No.
It has a certain staid quality to something that you thought would be heat all over the place.
Right, and it isn't.
It isn't, and it doesn't help what people are. Everyone who is going there is expecting to see something sexually supercharged.
Right.
And they're not getting it.
Right. They're just getting a kind of dark love story.
Yeah, all right. So you do have a bit of a love story, but it's dark.
It's very dark.
All right, Linda.
Yes, John.
It's time for us to grade 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes.
It is perhaps unworthy of its movie time, but
it might be even unworthy for you to be talking about.
Right. However, it is a cultural phenomenon, making hundreds of millions of dollars and drawing mostly women to the audience. But you, as my superwoman, are going to award it a grade.
Okay.
Linda Baas McClelland, what grade?
Well, right now I'm pretty tired of all shades of gray. I'm giving it a C.
Oh, thank you.
It's watchable.
It is, and I'll give it a C minus just so we don't look like we've colluded here on this.